In today's tutorial, I'm going to do an acrylic weaver bird from start to finish. So you can see I'm going to actually show you how to do the background. I'm also going to reveal a trick I have never filmed before, and that is how to draw my gold spiral patterns. So here you can see I'm doing the details of the bird, and then right at the end, so do stay tuned, I'm going to show you how to do these gold spiral patterns. So I started off by painting my canvas black. You can actually get already, black canvas, but I always just paint it black. And I'm using a new set of acrylics I bought called Lampo. Never heard of them before, but they've got some amazing colors. So I'm going to start off with Scarlet. And this is a really beautiful, lush color. These acrylics really have a great opaqueness to them and sheen. They're almost like oils. It's just so much easier to work with than oils. So yeah, you can see I am just clumping it on nice and thick. Yeah, so I put a strip of masking tape down. Obviously because I want a really straight line when it comes to adding the branch work, and a real strong definition between the sky and the ground. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. I bring out a lot of these art tutorials. I also do craft tutorials, so if you're interested in that, and art advice videos, I'm going to link them all down in my pinned comment below. Okay, so I'm still going there with the vermilion. Oh, I think I've actually, I decided to add a slightly lighter shade, and I've gone with, did I say vermilion? I think I did. So it is vermilion. The first one I had put down was Scarlet, and then I'm using vermilion. I don't know if you can see this, but it is slightly lighter. It's a more orangey red, just to make the colors pop a little bit more. Okay, here's the reveal. The line is straight, thank goodness. God bless masking tape. So now I'm taking my acrylic gold glass liner. If you don't have something like this, you can just get an empty tube that you normally use for fabric painting and fill it with gold acrylic paint. That also works fine. And here you can see I'm just doing some branch work. It's really easy when you've got that nib, and you just apply a very slight pressure to get the gold out. And if you apply a great pressure, it goes splat and it blobs out. So be careful and get a nice control going. You can practice on a piece of paper or something. I can't tell you how many times my paint has gone splat, especially when there's a slight blockage in the nib, in the what do you call it? The funnel? I don't know. I'm at a loss for words today. If there's a slight little blockage, like a little bit of paint's dried in there, it splats so quickly. So when you feel like you're putting on pressure and even more pressure, nothing's coming out, take a knee and get a safety pin and stick it in that little nib and clear it out. Otherwise, you're going to get a big blob. Okay, so here I am tearing out some gold foil, and I'm going to also link the video below as to where I get this beautiful gold foil. It's a very special gold foil. It's kind of an upcycled thing. So I will link that video down below as well in the pinned comments. And it involves chocolate, so it's well worth you listening or going over and having a watch. So I kind of, as you can see, okay, now I'm sticking it down, but before I was playing around with where do I put it, what works best for the composition. So I settled here for putting it in the sky. It's a little bit of an abstract vibe to it, and I think it looks pretty. So I'm sticking it down just with a glue stick. Obviously, my acrylic paint is dry. This is quite important. Don't go and put it over the wet paint. But it's summer here in South Africa, so the acrylic paint dries real quick. And there you can see I've done the gold foil with the glue stick, and it's all stuck down nicely. Now I'm going to, with the oil pastel, I've just chosen a very light yellow, do the body of the weaver. So the tail, as you can see, an oblong shape, and then just a sort of oval shape and a round circle for the head. So you got a bit of a, there you go, you can see what I'm doing. Big circle, little circle. Now I'm going to put in just a guideline to the feet, the claws, and look at those brushes. You can my brand new brushes. My brushes don't normally look that amazing. They start off looking amazing. Yeah, I just also bought this new set of acrylic brushes with my set of acrylic paint, because my brushes look like a dog's breakfast. And as gorgeous as these ones look right now, I hate to say it, but you know, it always starts off well, and I take great care of my brushes, and then it goes sort of downhill and one forgets it in the water or blah blah blah, and it gets full of paint and you start losing the hairs and okay, so you can see there now I've filled in the weaver bird with black acrylic paint. Now I'm going in with yellow. It's called mid yellow in my acrylic set. I would have called it like a deep yellow. Anyway, but they're calling it mid yellow, mid-range yellow. These weavers have got the most amazing yellow feathers, and it ranges from like a lemon yellow to a deep orange. They are so gorgeous. We have so many in my garden here. I live in Barrydale in the Western Cape in South Africa, and there are so many of these beautiful weaver birds in the garden, and you know, we feed them every morning and evening, and it looks like little yellow petals falling from the trees. They're so beautiful. Nature is amazing. It's so inspiring. Okay, so you can actually see I went in there with like an orange. I actually think it was the vermilion that I did around his eye. So there I'm going in with lemon yellow. I'm putting it on fairly thick. I'm glooping it on. Because why? Because I can. So you can see that this acrylic paint is quite opalesque. It's opalesque. What's the word? Like I said, I'm lost for words today. Sorry, not opalesque, that's shiny. I meant to say opaque is the word I'm looking for. Opaque. It's very opaque. It's as you can see, when you put acrylic over black, you normally have to do like a few layers, otherwise it just looks yuck. And with this, and I suppose I am daubing it on rather thick, but with this paint it's actually really nice and opaque, so you don't have to put too many layers on. Okay, so there I'm putting in the finer feathers, letting the black show through, give it that tone. I have to be honest, I find painting feathers rather vexing. It makes me go cross-eyed. And when it's so small as well, whew, it's not easy. Let me know in the comments below, do you paint a lot of birds and feathers, and do you find it difficult, or do you think it's easy? Does it become easier the more you do it? But I've done quite a few of these and it doesn't become easier. A little bit easier. but it's still, oh, I get cross-eyed. Have you subscribed yet? Please subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you like this video so far, please give it a thumbs up so that I can continue doing these tutorials. I really enjoy them. And I hope you do too. Okay, so now I'm going in with white. And we got the highlights going here. It always makes such a difference when you start going in with the highlights. So I've also chosen a much thinner brush now to do the finer details of the feathers, because there's so many little layers of these feathers on these birds. So you've got to go in, I would say that was a 0 brush. And I don't know, maybe even smaller, 000, 000, 1 hair. It can get quite hairy at this point. There, you see I'm doing the very fine layering of the wings. But it is coming together. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Are you going to give this a try? And there comes the other side, the wings. This is where you got to start being a bit careful and observing the symmetry of the bird, otherwise you might look a bit odd. So you got to get the symmetry right, that it meets up and everything adds up in the end when you take a step back. I got to admit, I don't know why, because it's not rocket science really, but I always tend to have a problem when it comes to doing the finer details on the face. You're going to see later on. I think I redo it a couple of times, like in the last video I did. I had an artist tell me, an artist friend of mine, she said, I'm so glad that, you know, you also struggle sometimes and you don't just get it right the first time. And I was like, no, the struggle is real. Got to keep going over. That's why I love acrylic so much. You can just go over it and over and over it until you are satisfied. And these male weavers, they got such a beautiful yellow color, and I've said it before, but the females are very sort of grayish, greeny yellow, a lot duller. Shame, it sounds terrible. They're not dull. In fact, the females I find are very vivacious. They go for what they want. The males tend to be a little bit more reserved and a little bit more cautious. The females, they're a treat. They're so lovely. They always get like the seed first because they go for it. And the male weavers, they just procrastinate and they fight amongst each other and they freak out, and then the females are just chomping away and they're busy fighting in the trees. But they really do have these gorgeous yellow feathers. Typical natural kingdom, you know, the males are always so beautiful and bright and gorgeous, and look at me, peacock feathers type thing, and the females are, you know, plodding along with their little grey feathers, but they're gorgeous. Their personalities are gorgeous. Okay, so I am adding some more light yellow there. White, making it a nice light yellow. And now I'm going in with the, what was that? I think that was, yeah, it's apricot, because their little legs are quite a peachy color. They're a peachy keen color. And a bit of white to highlight. I'm also going in with a very fine brush. This, I don't know what I don't like more, the feathers or doing the feet. I find their claws are quite taxing. You have taxing claws. Oh. Okay, some more highlights. Highlights in the head. He is taking shape now. And I think this is where I come in and I'm going to do the details in his face. And this is where I come a cropper. I always think, oh, this is going to be easy. It's never easy. Being an artist it's tough work, can I say? Okay, so the beak, I'm going to go in with a bit of blue detail. I think I used ultramarine here as the darker blue. You've got a very blue beak, young man. And I'm going in with some cobalt blue. For the highlights. You can see the hesitancy. What am I doing? Giving him a nice nostril there. A very, very blue beak. So I'm going in with a bit of black. These birds have got such beautiful sort of black eyeliner around their eyes. I'm giving the head and the eye a bit more definition. Now it looks like an angry bird. I didn't get enough seed today. All those feisty chicks got my seed before I could get there. Now I'm an angry bird. I'm an angry bird. Okay, giving some shadow work there. Some definition. With the black. Black is back. And there I made a boo-boo on his eye. Continue to make more boo-boos. So I told you this wasn't easy. One wrong move, like I just did now. So white comes back out, fixing the eye. Yeah, fixing the eye. It's like, no, too much fixing. A little bit more highlights. Beak highlights. Because I can. I do love my highlights. Detail. Everything is in the detail. More and more detail, please. What can I say? I'm a Virgo. We like detail. Little bit OCD. Okay. Going back in with the black for more definition, more detail. Please give us a like if you've enjoyed it so far. Really helps my algorithms. But you've never heard that before. What's an algorithm? I haven't got a clue. It's just got something to do with making my videos more visible. Right. Looking less angry now. A little bit less angry. Some more feathery details. Tail feather details. Detail in the detail in the tail. This is quite a punny tutorial today. Still faffing with the detail of the eye. As you can see, The struggle's real. Does he want a wide eye or a half closed eye? We don't know yet. At least he's not looking angry anymore. He's looking quite smug now. I'm a smug bird. Yeah, so I can see I'm putting in more of that mid yellow. Yeah, I think at this point it looked like there was just too much white and I needed to put in a bit more yellow just to be true to the bird. So I think I'm just going to be putting in daubs of yellow all over the place. Nice and thick. I like it nice and thick. And yeah, I normally do sort of, you know, put a little blob of paint on my palette there, but sometimes I just find it easier working straight from the tube. Otherwise it's, you know, you finish the paint. I'm so, what's the word? Shrewd with my paint. I hate wasting paint. So I only do like little blobs at a time and then I run out very quickly and I get irritated. So I just take the tube and work from there. Obviously, when you're working on bigger stuff, that's just not, it is not realistic. But when you're working on smaller stuff, it is very realistic to do that. Okay, so I'm adding more yellow. I was thinking of doing just like a yellow wash over it, but then I thought, no, I can just see, I'm just going to go back in with the white again. So I just decided to do the yellow highlights. I'm finished with the bird, and now I'm taking my masking tape and a pencil and doing like a little circle thing that you can't actually see it, the pencil mark there, but I can. What I did when I was doing this. So I'm taking a permanent marker and doing my swirly whirly designs. As I said in the beginning of this video, it's the first time I've ever actually shown you how I do my swirly whirlies. I'm going to be doing some gold in the black area. So just patterns, doodling, Zentangle type stuff. I just thought it needed something. I'm a stickler for detail. So I do actually have a pencil guideline there, even though you can't see it. Just patterns, whatever makes it interesting. Maybe it's the sun, an abstract sun. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a bubble of patterns. Art can be anything you want it to be. Get lost in the details. Are you an artist who likes a lot of detail in their work, or do you like to keep it simple? Let me know in the comments below. Do you overdo things? The worst is when you've overworked something. You think, oh, why didn't I just stop when I could? Here comes the pencil and the masking tape again. And as you can see, it's off screen. Okay, now I've figured that one out. So now I've got a gold marker. You can do this with the gold acrylic liner. In fact, in most of my bigger paintings, I do the poppies that I'm slightly known for. That I do with the acrylic gold liner because it gives it a raised effect. It's so nice. Nice to touch. This, because it's a smaller painting, I'm doing it with a gold permanent marker. Similar effect. anything goes. And it's a different sort of gold to the branch gold that I used. So there's different tones of gold in there, and it's a different gold to the foil I use. So there's 3 different types of gold in this painting. I like my gold. And I decided that I wasn't done yet, that I was going to put in some gold color into the black marker pattern. I think it looked quite nice. Not everything, just select things I colored in, just to make it stand out a little bit more. I love gold. I really do. I'm a magpie. Yep, it needs a bit more gold. Yeah, that looks better. Now we're talking. Almost done here. And of course the last thing I do is put my signature on, and that I do with the acrylic gold liner so that it is slightly raised. And that's it. I'm finished. Signature time. Come on, girl, hurry up now. Look at me dawdling like that. Here it comes. You've got to be extra careful when you're doing this. You don't want to blob it all out. What do you think? Are you gonna give it a go? Let me know. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.